This is from Billboard. The headline reads, Michael Jackson estate wins ruling approving $600 million Sony sale over mother's objections. Just read a little bit here. It says a California appeals court issued a final ruling that Michael Jackson's estate can proceed with a $600 million sale of the singer's catalog to Sony Music, rejecting objections from his mother that aimed to block the deal. A month after the appeals court issued a tentative ruling against Catherine Jackson, the court finalized a decision on Wednesday, that's last week, ruling the estate's executor, John Branca and John McClain, did not violate the terms of Michael's will when they inked the gargantuan deal with Sony. Quote, this is the last part, then I shut up. The will gave the executors broad powers of sale with no exception for the specific assets at issue in this case. As such, a lower judge did not err in concluding that it was Michael's intent to allow the executors to sell any estate's assets, including those at issue in the proposed transaction. They could sell whatever the fuck they want. Oh, I cursed before 5 minutes. My bad. So sorry, my friend. So sorry. Sorry, YouTube.
This is interesting.
I think so too. And I'm gonna say something wild in a minute, but go ahead, get your thoughts off.
No, so please say something wild. Let's start with something wild today.
I think 600 mil is lowballing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Queen is Queen.
Right.
And Queen is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I never heard them called the king of pop.
No.
And Mike was the king of pop.
He was definitely that.
Yeah.
Arguably so.
Tell that the tank. Anyway.
Well, that was about... Never mind.
I know. It's about something else. I know. I'm being a jerk. Anyway. Mike is Mike. And so I think if Queen got a bill, I know there's 4 or 5 members that it got to be split up between and yada yada, but the catalog is the catalog, baby. And my take is that y'all are lowballing for 600 mil. 600 mil for Mike's whole catalog? Now, perhaps it's not the whole catalog. Perhaps I'm misunderstanding and I need to read more. But based on what that said, 600 mil for the whole catalog? I mean, I think they did the estate a disservice. I'm about to go see if it's the whole catalog. Let me see. But I don't understand why we only talking about 600. I would think that this is... Oh, okay, wait a minute. Are
you misinforming the people?
As reported by Billboard earlier this year, the Jackson estate and Sony Music giant... Oh, I skipped the line. My bad. As reported by Billboard earlier this year, the Jackson estate and Sony Music have reached a deal that will see the music giant buy half of the singer's publishing and recorded masters catalog for more than $600 million. Oh. Half.
Okay, so if you multiply that by 2, then you
get 1.2, maybe 1.3.
Right. So makes more sense.
Listen,
right?
I take it all back.
More reasonable.
I take it all back. I'm sorry for 2004. I'm sorry.
Where is Ruben Studdard?
I don't know. But I hope he's doing all right. But yeah, I take it back. My bad. So yeah, listen.
Owned 2004, by the way. I just had to say it, but we can move on.
I apologize. 600 mil? Yeah, half for 600. That sounds about right.
That sounds more reasonable.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
I think it's really interesting that these things are happening now. Um,
Okay.
with the sale of people's music. Um,
Yep.
I'm curious to see what happens with it.
Hmm.
Like, what do you? Because you got Michael Jackson's catalog. What do you do with it? Like, there's so many things,
Oh,
right?
that's what I was about to say. I would say mad shit, mad ways to repurpose that music in
What?
soundtracks, in the metaverse, with new AI features. Like, there's,
What? Yeah. When I say what do you do with it, I don't mean because I don't
and it
know
says the
what.
masters. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll
I
wait.
don't. I don't mean because I don't know what you can do with it. I just mean the possibilities are probably endless.
Yes.
Um, that also sometimes makes me nervous because you never know what's gonna happen, and that's someone's
Right.
legacy. Um,
Agree.
someone who is no longer with us. So you
Right.
want, you know, as a fan, as a bystander, as a lover of music, you want to know that it is preserved in a reasonable way, in a way that it will, you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for? It will uplift his legacy, you know? So I don't know. I'm always a little nervous when these things happen because I'm like, what are we doing with this though?
Oh, I think all of that is over with. I think the Prince estate showed us that, if nothing else. I think that it's just about the dollars today, for especially for the acts who have moved on. I think when people gain these estates that they know, hey, we could make bank, they just trying to make bank.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you're right.
and even Michael's mom is saying like that's not what his wishes were. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it was true, then we have another case. But Prince was very adamant about what he did not want happening, and it is happening. And so
Yeah,
I don't think that matters today. I think unfortunately these catalogs are being sold for top dollar, and they're gonna do whatever they want to do with it. I think it's going to be unfortunate later on because what I was gonna say is it also says the masters are included, and so that also means sampling, remixes, repurposing,
mm,
all type of stuff can now be done. So we could start selling, Thriller trap samples, Thriller, Beat It, whatever,
yeah,
Beat It 2005 featuring, I mean, Beat It 2025 featuring Dash and D, the king of R&B. And let's be clear.
hmm,
I know streaming is where it's at today.
yeah,
When you're bored, you and the people watching at home, go look up Michael Jackson streaming numbers. And beyond that, let's look at Michael Jackson merch. Let's look at Michael Jackson vinyl sales. Like all of that is part of what you get to make money from when you own the masters and the catalog. So, and just doing new stuff, right? If they decide, hey, we're gonna do the Michael Jackson Thriller experience at 42nd Street next year,
mm,
there you go.
yeah.
Make that 600 mil right back.
I know. No,
So
you're
I
right.
think this is interesting. What'd you say?
I was just saying you're right. That's all of that can be true.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they can do. I think this is interesting. I think it becomes a weird situation when you have a close family member saying one thing versus what the will says, right? And so that's part of why I compared it to Prince. We know Prince had said publicly he didn't want certain things happening. He wasn't okay with certain things. And the estate was like, hey man, we each piece of them have been slowly selling off their piece of the pie. And so it becomes this interesting thing. I think it's sad. If this is truly not what he wanted,
Yeah,
I don't have any way to prove that. I don't know that to be true or not true. But hey, like I said, 600 mil sounds about right.
yeah.
You heard me. Listen, before I knew, I said a Billy, and
It
then
did.
600 mil for half. So listen, sounds about right.
It does. It does. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Indeed.